welcome back. We are here for Brindlewood Bay Golden Grifters, episode 14. All right, so we're going to start with Pearl, who has a new move. So, Pearl, if you could read out what the new move is from your advancement, that would be great. And then we'll
I
go
took the
into it.
move Dale Cooper. Add 1 to your sensitivity, max +3, so I now have a sensitivity of whopping 0. At the beginning of each session, the keeper will give you a void clue in the form of a strange, unsettling dream you experience. No two mavens can have this move at the same time.
Right. All right, so let's check out some void clues here. Pearl, you are asleep. And I think you see yourself back at Mucky Point. And at Mucky, there seems to be someone you don't know, you can't quite tell if you've met them yet because it's dark. And when you look at them as they're coming up to you, you feel like their face keeps shifting from, something familiar like Walter's face, and then somebody else's face, and then somebody that you remember from your past, but not quite, and then back maybe to Walter's face, and then somebody completely different. But this face, they're muttering to themselves, and they're looking at you with wide eyes, almost bloodshot. And as they get closer, you realize that they are talking with you. You realize what's been going on, yeah? For years. Those things, tales of fishes, they say. Things that will come on land and change just by the shedding of their skin. And you've seen them. You've seen them. You've seen them. And like he's going to point behind him and like kind of still look at you with the full on frightened face. Them there, out in the waters, Mucky Point. The waters know. The waters know the secret. And then he all of a sudden will clasp you by the shoulders and shake you and say, off the waters. Them with fish tails, them with shedding skins, and then just keeps repeating and repeating until like you're shaken awake. But there's no one there. Anyone have any crowns that they still need to do?
Sai does.
Okay.
For my notes last time.
Yeah, I have that too, and I'm just like, I don't remember which one it was.
I don't know that she told us. I think she just said she took one.
You're muted,
have
by the way.
Me?
No,
Oh.
Sigh.
Still muted.
Yep, you're still muted.
Gotta
There
do
you
it
are.
at least once. Gotta do it at least once.
I know.
Every time.
I don't know that I actually chose one.
Oh, okay.
Because I only have the scene in the present day showing a private side of you that very few get to see. I think I did that one already.
Okay.
Like that one was already checked.
That was already marked. Okay. I think you were going to delay anyway, so that's why you hadn't picked out which one you were going to do, the void or the
right.
queen. So, go ahead and pick now, and like if you need time, then we can totally do it in the middle or at the end.
I'm not in the mood for a flashback. The crown void is the pallid mask. Hereafter, during any intimate conversation with another character, you must make a casual reference to death, dying, the afterlife, or the end of all things, no matter the subject at hand. Is that for every conversation from here on out?
Any intimate conversation with another character. So assume since they didn't say side character, I mean, you could just reserve it for your friends, like the other PCs, or if you want to make it and side character and PC that that you're
I
with.
don't know how. I
It
don't
just has
know.
to be an intimate conversation. So, like, okay, I'm gonna present it this way. So you have a date coming up at 10 a.m. at the Cafe Clementine
Oh, are we
with
still doing
with Alonzo. So if you count him as a character, you're gonna be like talking about death, dying, the afterlife, or the end of all things.
that? Oh
So if
no.
you don't want to do that, then I would suggest having an intimate conversation with one of your friends.
Well, it says casual reference. It doesn't say you have to make the whole conversation about it.
Yeah.
My question is it every conversation for the rest of the campaign?
Yeah, because you've marked the Crown of the Void, the Pallid Mask. So intimate conversation with another character, a casual reference to any of those things.
I don't think that I would remember to casually reference death. I just be like, oh, and by the way, we're all gonna die. Like, not. I don't think I'd like squeeze it in at the last
I
minute.
don't know. Would Sai actually like kind of like have that kind of reaction? I just think of her as just being like, I'm above it all.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think maybe I will take. I think I will take a Crown of the Queen.
Okay. And
Um.
you don't have to do it now if you need time to kind of think about it. It's
Okay.
fine.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a Crown of the Queen. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a scene in the present day showing a burgeoning romance.
Hubba hubba? Hubba? Mm, mm, mm.
I like how there's a question mark after that. But I am gonna wait until, if it's okay, I'd like to wait till closer to the end of the episode.
Of course. Of
That way we
course.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
have something to work with.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Let's verge into the beginning of the show, like credit crawl, cozy vignettes of like you showing, life, as it is in Brindlewood Bay or, doing your thing. But if you've marked, of course, shadow in the garden, it's like you kind of want to just show, oh, actually, that's cozy move scene. Sorry. Hmm. All right. So you don't have to do it during the cozy vignette. Although if you want to sneak in a little bit of darkness into your cozy vignette, I have no problems with that. But yeah, I mean, like during the credit crawl, like, a little scene of what your character is doing, puttering around Brindlewood Bay or maybe preparing to go back to Mucky Point. So, whoever wants to start. Da 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 da, theme song goes off. Who do we see first?
I think we see Pearl preparing to head to Mucky Point. Specifically, she has a large Tupperware container that she is carefully filling with mini muffins that she's going to put in her capacious purse, so that they have sustenance for their efforts. And she's looking a little rattled as she does. It's clearly early morning. She has a big pot of coffee and a mug next to her as she fills the Tupperware and checks her purse to make sure she has all her usual things and such like preparations.
I think Mazi would be. I feel like that car accident that we learned about, maybe she would have driven out to kind of scope it out and see, is it like a hairpin turn? Because she's like into cars and driving and all that. So, like, probably zooms in, like maybe following her along the road, kind of cruising out in the morning, just wind in her hair, all that good stuff. And then she starts to like slow down and like kind of pull off to the side of the road and has over maybe in the side seat like her one of her little scrapbooks and kind of like referencing sort of the article that's talking about where there was the accident, um, and trying to like sort of piece out where it was and see if it was like a um, poor driving. Was it there's like this is actually like a dangerous stretch of road where there's a lot of blind turns. And I would say as she's out, maybe she kind of gets out and is like, maybe there's a guardrail, because it's kind of windy through a little bit of hilly areas. Just kind of peeking over maybe a guardrail and off to the side, on the other side of the road, there's like maybe some woods or whatever. And because I have that first crown where you see the shadowy things, I want to say you see three shapes, three sort of figures. And I'm gonna play into some stereotypes here with some pirate themes. You're gonna see one that looks like your captain pirate with the three-pointed hat and the peg leg, and then maybe like two men flanking him on either side. Just like you don't see them, you just see kind of their shadows in the woods as she's doing her thing, checking things out, and then after she gets, maybe makes a few notes about the location, hops back in the car and is like, all right, I'm gonna go get Pearl and Sai and continue on.
Okay, and then for Sai, she's at home packing, getting ready to go to Mucky Point, and you can see that she's got a duffel bag open, and in the duffel bag you can kind of see hanging out like a snorkel and a harpoon, and and she's trying to decide between some of Caviar's clothes, and what she decides to go with is a little cat hat that has tendrils and looks like Cthulhu that she's knitted. So she tries it on him. She goes, yeah, that's the one. Puts it in the duffel bag and then zips up, and she grabs her to-go coffee and she's out the door.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. So mechanically, I just want to go over what you have so far for a murder most mucky. Trying to figure out what happened to the lighthouse keeper, Mr. Creel. So I have a complexity 8 for this mystery, and you have currently 4 clues, one of which needs to be a clue from Mazi, from the cozy move from last session. Remember, it cannot conclusively answer, or say, this is who did it, like so. It's got to be something that you use to put your thumb on the scale, so. And so besides the Mazi clue, we have a piece of frayed rope speckled with blood and found in a strange place, a newspaper clipping about Cyrus's involvement in a fatal car accident, and a heated argument between the lighthouse keeper, or a lighthouse keeper, and a local. That's what you got so far. So, if you are heading back to Mucky Point...
What's the complexity on this mystery?
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need at least 16.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know. You guys are just...
with how we roll.
Oh, wow. All right. But does anybody remind Sai about the proposed date where Alonzo was making for brunch?
Oh,
at
yeah.
Cafe Clementine.
Heck yeah. I would, when she's like getting out, coming out to the car maybe in the morning, sort of figuring out the plans for the day. I probably would have picked up Pearl first.
Okay.
And then swung over, because Pearl always has the snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of pull over at Size, and when she's coming out and being like, wow, you are bringing a lot of stuff on your date.
What date?
Your brunch date with your friend?
Hottie Italian man?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Sorry,
In the
your
least.
brunch interview.
In the least. In the least. I don't think that that's a thing that I'm doing. Is it?
I think it is.
So.
What time is it, by the way?
I don't know. Could be any time. What is time, really?
Existentialism will out of this.
No. I'm gonna roll. It is 9:00. What time did we say your date was?
11:30, I think.
10 a.m.
Oh, 10
10
a.m.
a.m.
Okay, well.
All right. Your choices, Sai. We can drive over now. You scope out the place, you pick the table you want, and you're fashionably early. Or we wait 10 minutes and then do the same thing.
Oh no.
You don't want to be too early. You don't
Oh
want to
no.
look too eager. Come on.
Well, no, but
Oh.
she could definitely pick out like the best table with the best.
Oh,
view.
yes. Oh, scoping things out by all means, but
And they do get pretty crowded sometimes. So,
well, that's why you speak to the host and, slip him a few bucks and say, "Hold that table for me, please."
So I think we've established last time that Cafe Clementine is a mom and pop shop that specializes in muffins and has
Yes.
wanted Pearl's recipes for years. So are you two kind of going to be like, like hanging in the back or like a few tables away, or are you going to be doing something else in Brindlewood Bay while this date's happening?
Oh, I am so tempted to hang out at another table.
right, I am tempted as well, but I would let Sai decide if she wants us that close.
Of course I do. You guys can't leave me alone.
No, we won't be. You won't be alone. I mean, there's
I
plenty
will
of other
be
people.
There's other people
miserably,
there.
completely, totally alone in this world.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
If you insist on having a third and fourth wheel,
No, Pearl. No, Pearl.
Ah,
no, we'll be nearby, and if things are going catastrophically, we
which
can
they
get you
will.
out of it. They're not going to go catastrophically, especially if you don't go into it assuming they're going to be terrible.
Exactly. Plus, you got a sweet ride to roll up in.
Put your best self forward.
Yeah.
I hate both of you.
Do you though? grab her duffel bag or backpack wherever she was loading up with all the stuff and like pop it in the trunk. Be like, all right.
Be careful with that harpoon. It's an antique.
Yeah. Why are you bringing a harpoon? Do I want to know?
Don't you always bring a harpoon on your brunch dates, interviews?
Oh, you're not. This is staying in the trunk, ma'am.
What? How am I supposed to get along without my tools?
You may take caviar,
I will take caviar.
but you're not taking a harpoon to brunch, ma'am.
Caviar is the
draw the
only tool you
line.
need. If he doesn't approve, then absolutely you should bail. But
Okay. All right.
It's true.
At least caviar's got good taste.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
Kind of roll around a little bit and then pull up and let her pick out her table.
And all this is going on. And like, are you guys hanging back and like kind of like surreptitiously going in like, a few minutes after, or like how are you handling this?
we're not walking in with her.
Okay.
Oh no,
okay.
definitely not.
Okay.
I'd say I would probably pull up and like let her out at the front and then maybe pull around to like the side parking and find a spot. And then
Leisurely meander in.
kind of
Yeah.
meander our way in.
No,
Okay.
not gonna make eye contact with her or anything when we come in. Just
She knows our phone numbers. My cricket has her on speed dial.
The reason I say that, the reason I ask is because I'm just gonna give some names here. Hold on.
Oh no.
I'll,
Get your notes out.
Get your notes.
I don't
out.
have notes. I don't have notes.
I have notes.
I was
Okay.
talking to Rachael.
Because I don't think you named the local mom and pop who owns Cafe Clementine. So
Mr. and Mrs. Clementine.
Mr. and Mrs. Mom and Pop.
Mom and
Sure.
Pop.
Yeah.
So let's call them.
It used to be Mom and Papadopoulos. They're Greek, but
Used to be Papadopoulos.
Wait, what?
no,
What's
Mom and
happening?
Papadopoulos.
I know. I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on a second. Greek. But now, I don't know. French? I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so, I know. Hold on. French. So, oh no, because good French name. Oh goodness. Guillaume.
Sure.
Guillaume and Marielle. Okay, so Guillaume and Marielle own Clementines. Okay. All right. And figure out a last name later. Who cares at the moment? But I believe that Marielle will, as soon as she sees you come in, Pearl, she's going to kind of, do that weird thing, like kind of sidle up to you and then kind of like turn really quickly. So this way she's side by side to you and just saying, "Oh, Pearl, it is wonderful to see you. Have you thought again about possibly contributing the secret of your recipe for the muffins?"
Well, I'm not ready to give you the whole secret, but I will say that the secret is that you want one of the secrets is that anytime you're using lemon zest, you want a little bit of orange zest too, and vice versa. More of the one that you want to dominate, but you gotta balance it with multiple types of citrus.
We usually make the cranberry and l'orange muffins, so this is very interesting. Are you saying you put in both? Huh. Ah, I see. Guillaume! And then she's like yelling at her husband in the kitchen. I got another one! And then she heads over. Please, 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 sit down, and then we will bring over some tea and such for you and your, oh, it is, it is the one with the car. Ah, I see. Well, let's put it this way. It's like I'm going to create like a little bit of lore here. So I think Guillaume has always admired your taste in cars, Mazi. Because maybe you've talked to Guillaume about cars before, and Marielle's kind of jealous. So,
ooh, yeah.
So a little bit of dirt there. So anyway, yes. So she hurries over, and then she gets tea and such ready for your table. And then yeah, I mean, if you're comfortably there, Sai, comfortably sitting at your table, I think after they get settled in, somewhere in the further in the back, still visible or still
Tailing
able to
distance.
see your table. Yes, tailing distance. Yes. Oh, what do they call it? Surveillance.
Yeah.
Stakeout.
Surveillance
We
mode.
have big dark shades on.
Binoculars.
Like the corner booth. Oh my god. Or the tiny binoculars. You don't
You
know.
say
Oh, the opera
anything.
binoculars.
Yes.
Yeah, and you say anything remotely interesting, and we both are like,
But anyway, as you're there, it's almost like center stage. You've picked a table that just seems to be conveniently right in the middle, visible to all of the patrons, in this small cafe, as well as the door. And Alonso comes in, and he looks pretty good. He's wearing a very fashionable sweater, for a man, maybe a turtleneck, but it's not thick and rough for this kind of northern weather kind of thing. It's more of the kind of sweater that shows off what it needs to show off without being too tight. And nice trousers, wingtips. He's just very well put together. And And he, like, when his eyes, see you as he comes in through the door, he's like, there's a very, very nice light, as he comes in and sits at your table. Or I should say, he stands, casually there. It's like, I am so glad you decided to meet me. May I sit
I
down?
am also. Yes, yes. Yep, yes. Please sit down.
I was hoping to be here first, so I could be a gracious host, but you are lovely as always.
Thank you. You do have to get up pretty early in the morning to get up earlier than me.
Hmm. He
Uh, so
leans in. He leans in and kind of like, with his arms folded in front of him, and says, "That could be arranged."
meanwhile, Sai's gonna like knock over the salt shaker.
Sorry.
Um,
Did you order yet?
nope, I haven't.
Whatever you'd
What,
like.
what's your favorite thing to order here?
So, I'd like each of you to paint the scene. You're welcome to throw this into the Brindlewood Bay thing. What kind of drinks or pastries do they serve here at Cafe Clementine that just give it this upscale feel, but yet also touristy um, vibe to it as well? A
Uh,
drink
I'm
or a pastry?
I'm calling latte art just right off the bat. They're gonna make those they're lavender lattes and they're making them in the cappuccino cups that when they make them you're like, "Oh, that's gonna spill." Like clearly this is going to spill. But then they don't. They like defy reason and logic and gravity and it just makes this a perfect little dome of foam milk foam and each cappuccino has a little lavender flower on top, like in the latte art, not a literal lavender flower, but like,
Right. It's like drawn in.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. A drink or a pastry?
I'm going to swipe something from my favorite bakery and coffee spot, which is ham and Havarti croissant. They're savory filled croissant with just the perfectly flaky pastry and the
Mm-hmm.
buttery smooth Havarti and thin sliced European style ham.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Delish.
So I think I'm gonna go with we have a savory, we have a dessert. I'm gonna go with something sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have they're by all standards, especially by Pearl standards, they're kind of basic, but they're brownies. They're very like nice, rich, fudgy brownies. But then they do the fudge and cream cheese frosting and like swirl, like marble it on top, so it looks fancy. Um, so it looks really good. I mean, they're tasty, but by Pearl standards, they're basic,
Yeah.
very basic. Just a step above box brownies,
Oh, nerve
but they
burn.
look good.
Right. Well, they're probably very artistic with them. When they
Yeah.
swirl, there is an
Mhm.
intent behind the swirl and not
Yeah,
just put the paddle in it and
exactly.
just.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think he's going to say, it's like, something delicate and beautiful and aromatic. Resembles somebody I know, does it not?
I'll have black coffee.
That sounds fine. And then he'll kind of like, hold up a hand for Marielle or Guillaume to come over and take the order. And is there anything you would like to eat for brunch?
Oh,
I think they have started making, what do they call them? Mini quiches, I think.
ooh. Yes, I'll have that. I like many quiches.
2. And then, like, he says this, but he's still looking at you. Like, it has a very, what's that, liquid look in his eye as he's looking at you. And then, yes, you are probably wondering why I asked if we could meet.
Yes, I am.
I have not been able to stop thinking about you since, well, the incidents back at that shop.
I think they make a pill for that.
Still with the shop wit. Am I to understand that you don't recall those nights in Rome with any fondness whatsoever?
We were both very young.
We are still young. Young at heart.
Now I know you're flattering me.
You don't consider yourself youthful in spirit?
Definitely not.
Well,
The chat's got me.
I'm what?
The chat's got me.
Oh
Sorry.
no. God. I gotta stop looking at chat. We're trying to roleplay. Okay. Well, even maturity can enhance beauty.
So, what have you been up to?
Still working on my designs.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to, I guess, eke out a living here in this resort town, remote as it is.
I was surprised to see you again. This doesn't seem the place.
I should say the same thing for you. Why have you come here?
Oh, the children grew up and I needed somewhere quiet to settle down, and I've made friends. Cost of living's quite appropriate.
So you couldn't stay on the Riviera for your retirement then?
Well, I wanted to be in the country, for the grandchildren. You know how that is.
He kind of like just kind of like maybe so, maybe no, like that expression on his face as he kind of like shakes his head. Be that as may, I think it is fortuitous that we have come together again. And I would consider it an honor if you would let me, well, what did they say here? Date?
Well, I suppose I would be amenable to a casual situation. I would be more than willing to be close friends again.
He seemed to perk up when you said casual, but then when you said close friends, he kind of thinks about it a little bit. How close?
Remains to be seen.
And at this point, it's when Guillaume comes over with the drinks and the quiches, and Alonso will pick up his, and then kind of hold his other hand up like underneath it and go, "Allow me," as if he's going to feed it to you, Sai.
Oh no. I couldn't possibly. No, thank you. I'm not an infant. I have a perfectly good hand. I can feed myself, although I appreciate it.
Independent. I have missed you.
I've missed you too.
And then he will put his quiche back down on his plate and eat it, eat his own quiche. But he will still like look at you like over his cup, like as he's taking sips, and then just admiring the view. So, what are you two doing while this is all going on?
Filling the chat.
I think the same messages as the content of the chat are being conveyed with us just looking at each other like,
Great.
you know?
Right. We're like,
So, do you have caviar in his usual like backpack?
Yes. Yep. Caviar's in his bubble pack.
Because I think he's kind of patting the backpack, like as like your he's not actually making a sound. Actually, he's just kind of like patting the backpack as if he wants to be let out.
I'm gonna do a little zippy zip at the top. I can never resist. I can't say no to caviar. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna zip the top and open the hatch a little bit and sneak him some of the egg and the filling of the quiche, not the crust.
Right.
I am going to pretend that it's a salmon quiche.
It's fine. Although
Caviar loves it.
I want you to roll for funsies. I want you to roll a meddling move using caviar for advantage. I'm curious to see what you get.
Is that 2d6 plus 1?
2d6 plus 3d6. Take the two highest, and then you'd add composure, because the caviar is going to be stealthy on your behalf.
Okay, 3d6 plus 1. Take the two highest. Okay.
Yes.
Roll it. Good grief.
What'd you get?
I rolled a 2, a 1, and a 3.
A 4.
solidly terrible. Nicely done.
Wow. Okay.
Great start.
Great. Because I should have mentioned, it's like I was offering like a free meddling move for this, for caviar working on your behalf. We can describe how this goes weird, or you can, since it's such a wonderful fail, you can cut to commercial and do a commercial about the licking beans. What did we say?
Bean licking game, yes.
No, we'll call it the licking beans game.
I've never done a commercial. How does that work?
Okay, so let me go into the thing and just read off the directions right out loud. Hold on, go to commercial. All right, so, of course, it doesn't go right to that. Here we go. How we go? Okay, very special keeper reaction, paying homage to television shows that inspired the game, suggests that Brindlewood Bay is in itself a TV show. So, if well, this is a perilous or dramatic action. Not quite, but I mean, I'm just going to break the rules because that's what I do. That provokes a die roll, and the die roll is a miss. You can say, let's cut to commercial before the outcome is narrated, and then give the player or maven a short prompt. You may narrate a commercial inspired by the prompt. And if you do so, then you return to the regular scene, and then I allow play to continue as if you had rolled a 10 to 11. So basically an unqualified success if you do the commercial.
I'm doing the commercial.
Okay. So yes, you're doing the commercial for the Licking Beans game, the game where you test the jelly beans for the spiciest or the most flavorful or the most gross jellies possible. Do you need a minute? Because I can cut to the others for a few.
Give me a minute. Give
Yeah,
me a
it's
minute.
fine. Yeah, that's fine. So, yes, you two, you're watching this go down. I don't know if you hear anything or if you happen to plant a microphone on side somehow in the Cthulhu costume for Caviar.
I'm just picturing, straightening her collar before she goes in. And
Oh, okay.
hug on the back.
Sure. Yeah.
I was say I probably wouldn't try to plant. I'd just be, and it's crowded, because it's brunch and it's crowded. So there's like probably enough noise that we can't hear all of it unless you did actually stick a mic on her.
Do you think I should have?
Nah.
It might be a bit much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
We're not helicopter parents.
No. We're just very nosy friends.
Very nosy.
Absolutely. Okay. So anyway,
Can you imagine this crew with leverage style earbuds? Oh dear God.
Oh my God, that's
Anyway.
so ridiculous. Or the what do they call it? Like in the old Charlie's
the
Angels
little
movie.
Things.
Yeah, the molar mics. There we go, the molar mics. But anyway, so I think you can pretty much tell what's going down by the reactions and what Alonso is doing. But I mean, do you two do anything or discuss?
I think I am mostly. I am eating one of the ham and cheese or ham and Havarti croissant.
Yeah.
And usually I get some. I usually get some relatively fancy coffee drink, but today I'm just like, no, large coffee. So I'm drinking my coffee even though I had coffee at home. And
Marielle almost looks disapproving when she gives you the order. It's like, this would be more served if you had gotten one of the specialty lattes to go with this muffin.
I know, but I had a very bad night's sleep.
Oh.
I need all the caffeine I can get.
I am
so
so
as
sorry.
you're saying that, I think Mazi is gonna raise an eyebrow, like wondering, like, was it the blacksmith? Like, like thinking, like, all right.
Once Marielle moves on, we can chat.
Right?
Yes.
Mazi's gonna order one of those delicious brownies, a fancy coffee, and a muffin. Like whatever fancy coffee she thinks, like what's on the recommended today menu or whatever.
I'm gonna say that there's still a little tiny bit of worry when, with Marielle, because when she gives you the coffee, it is very dark and very sludgy. And then, she'll make a comment about, here you go, you should be used to this. It is like the motor oil that you like to play with so much.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you don't know that motor oil isn't actually dark.
And she just, she just, sniffs. Huh. And then, puts down your brownie. Enjoy.
I will.
And she
Did
moves
you
away.
do anything to justify that, or?
So, how do you say his name? Guillaume.
Guillaume.
Guillaume. I had it spelled totally different in my notes, and I looked at how you spelled it. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna remember this. I I had a conversation with him. I don't know, a couple months back, maybe not too long. I think after they started changing some of the specials of the day and stuff. I came in and apparently he's a big gearhead too. So we were chatting about cars and makes, models, specs, things like that. That's a bit. That's all
Sharing an interest that his wife does not share. Yep, I get it.
I know. Comes with the territory of liking cars.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, are we in a table or a booth, do you think, Pearl?
I think we're in a booth.
We're on the same side of the booth then, so that we can see.
Yes. Oh no, there was no doubt about that. I was just like, you have to be both seeing what you're seeing.
Without one of us going.
I mean, worst case scenario, one of us could have been sitting there with a mirror, like a little compact.
It's too much work.
Too much work.
So, why didn't you sleep good last night? Was it the blacksmith? Did he visit you? Or have they moved on yet? Have they moved to a new town?
No, he's actually staying around.
Ooh.
So
date number 2?
We're talking. We're working things. We're considering. But no, last night had nothing to do with him. I had very strange and unpleasant dreams about Mucky Point.
Oh. Got in your head?
Yeah, well, you remember name. Tug Williams, that old drunk, was talking about strange things in the water. Well, I dreamed about somebody telling me about the ones in the water that shed their skins and come up on land and they know, and yeah, it was very creepy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it like you have those dreams, they're just like uncomfortable dreams, but then you have those dreams that you can feel. Was it one of those? Like there's more behind it or something driving it?
It felt like it. I mean, I'm not generally given to superstition, that sort of thing, but we both know that there's been some strange stuff lately.
Yeah.
And I mean, for goodness sake, we were hanging out with the ghost. I do wonder where poor Walter went.
I know. I haven't seen him in a while. A couple days at least.
And so, I don't know. I think maybe it does mean something.
Well, it definitely seems like there's something with the water. Because remember when we were at the Renaissance Festival, and I was like, I pictured like, or I saw like the water in the boat, and like had some kind of weird flashback about that. So I don't know. Maybe there's something with the water here.
Well, I'm certainly not going swimming. That's absolutely definite.
I might still go out on the jet skis, but
you'd probably be quick enough not to get grabbed by anything.
I don't know if it's big enough. It'll get whatever's out there.
True.
So how you think she's doing? I'm imagining this is right around the time he's like trying to feed her, and she's like, "No, I got this." We're like, "Whoa." Awkward.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to send in backup yet?
No.
She doesn't look ready to like kung fu him, so.
Yes, I don't think there's going to be any violence or any abruptly walking out. I don't think. But, oh boy.
I think by this point she's opened up Caviar's carrier, and then Caviar comes out to have some of the quiche, and then so Are you ready with the commercial, Sai?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Step right up. Don't be shy. Where beans are licked. Oh my, oh my. Each bean a mystery, a flavor surprise. In bean liquors, where tasting defies. Bean liquors, taste the odd, become the pickers. Bean liquors, every lick a flavor sticker.
Beautiful! Beautiful! Oh my gosh. Oh god. Oh, you deserve a 12 for that. Oh my god. Beautiful.
Bean liquors, available near you.
Serious. I love it. Okay. So, yeah,
Beautiful.
Jesus, you get a special for that. So, this means that you get a clue for the mystery, I think. Let me see. Let's see if I can find something that works for this particular thing as well as for what's going on with Caviar and Alonso. Give me a sec.
Good luck getting that earworm out.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Bean liquors, bean liquors.
I need to save that as a clip and share it with my toddler, who will then probably sing it for the rest of his life.
Probably. Probably. And not even understand where this is coming
Nope.
from. Oh my god.
He was singing that what's the macaroni chicken nugget song or whatever.
Oh.
Chicken wing, hot dog macaroni,
That
hanging with
one.
my homies.
Yeah, except he doesn't know the right words. So it's macaroni chicken wing. And then he just mumbles and then macaroni chicken wing. And Chris is like, what is he talking about? I'm like, there's a song. It's like, I don't know, macaroni song or something.
Okay.
Hot dog and bologna, chicken macaroni, chilling with my homies.
Caviar will tire of having some of the quiche, and he'll kind of like sidle over to Alonso under the table, and he starts to like weave his way around Alonso's legs, and like Alonso kind of starts and then kind of looks under the table. It's like, oh, hello there. And he'll look at you, sigh, and say, ah, you're a cat?
My boon companion,
Ah, well,
Caviar, and I go everywhere together.
he seems to be a fine, handsome fellow, for sure. And then he'll do that thing like where he kind of like reaches under the table to kind of like let Caviar like sniff his hand. And Caviar's gonna go a little bit beyond that and not only like make to sniff his hand, but like a big paw like will kind of go around it as if he's kind of trying to shake um Alonso's hand, but then his other paw will go like towards Alonso's pocket. And then
That's my boy.
and then what he finds, what he kind of like knocks out of Alonso's pocket is like a handkerchief. Um, it's like, oh, ah, oh, you don't need that. No, no, no. And like he'll kind of like reach underneath and kind of wave Caviar away and kind of pick it up, but he picks it up a little bit clumsily because, of course, Caviar is like interfering. And if you take a peek, like along the side of the table, you'll see that it's a handkerchief that seems to be stained in some kind of powder. And it's like a dark powder, but then there's like, it's very odd. Like in the dark powder, you can see what looks like herbs as well as like branches or something. Like it's hard to explain, but what it looks like is that it's part of like a ritual of some sort. Oh, don't play with that. That's just some dirt that I had taken off of my shoes. can't go anywhere with stained shoes, of course. And then, like, he'll pick up the handkerchief and kind of make as if he's dusting it off, but what he's really doing is kind of like crushing it and like stuffing it into a different pocket away from Caviar. And Caviar will just give that pensive look that Caviar has, and then go, wow. So the clue is, and this is really broad, I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out a way to make this work to be a lot more clear, but it is evidence of black magic being worked on someone. Okay. And that is the clue.
It's clearly not me.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here going, what is Caviar doing?
Good boy.
But then, like, once he picks it up and then, like, transfers the handkerchief to a different pocket, he'll scratch or he'll scritch Caviar, like, along his cheeks and, like, underneath his chin and such. He seems a wonderful companion.
Yes, you can always trust a cat, can't you? They're good judges of character.
Usually. And, yeah, he'll continue to scritch Caviar. So. And then he looks like... Caviar looks like he's into it. But, like, he'll just kind of, like, look at you as, like, he's, like, enjoying the scritches on, like, the one side. And he'll just look at you with his eyes and just go, meow, meow. And then we can end there and have a 5-minute break. So 5 minutes. So I'll just go to the 10 mark. All right. So see you at like 10 past.
Beans.
So we're gonna say that the scene ends with finishing up the quiche and the drinks, and him asking you, so when can I see you again?
Well, this has been lovely, and it has been so nice catching up with you. If you are really truly set on seeing me again, I suggest that, well, I'm going to be out of town for the next day or two with my friends, but I would love to get together again after that.
I would like that as well.
I'm picking the next place, though.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent. And then, you take your leave, and then next scene is where you guys are buzzing off in the car. So, do you ladies wait to pounce on her when you're back in Mucky Point, or do you pounce on her in the car?
In the car.
As soon as she's in the car.
Caviar's like licking his paws, of course,
Useless.
So what was all that? First off, if a handsome gentleman offers to feed you, you accept.
No, absolutely not.
Oh no, absolutely. You accept.
I mean,
under no circumstances will another adult be feeding me while I am still of sound mind and body.
you have no romance in your soul.
That's true.
How?
Hey, Pearl, I would accept, okay?
Thank you. I'm glad somebody around here has it together.
How about this? Next time, you go on the date and let that Italian Lothario feed you your breakfast and then see how you feel about it.
I am not particularly interested in breakfast with the Italian Lothario.
Me neither.
In that, I have a gentleman friend who I would find it quite pleasant were he to offer to feed me tidbits.
I still feel like he's got an angle. I think he's hiding something.
Yeah, his angle is that he likes you.
What was that business?
Makes no sense. That's crazy what you just said.
We like you. I mean, obviously, we're not going to feed you, but we like you.
I don't know. I think I've
Well,
fed
yeah,
you
Pearl
often
feeds.
enough.
Okay, I'm not going to feed you. No offense, but you don't want my food anyways.
That's also true.
It's
You have many
gluten-free.
other fine qualities.
Like a lead foot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sweet ride.
And a sweet, sweet ride.
hmm
Yeah,
So,
I'm
I
just
mean,
not. I don't trust him.
What was that whole business with caviar? What was going on there?
Right? What was that? He's had
We
like
we couldn't
some.
see what was going on.
He had a hanky in his pocket, and it was absolutely besodden with weird, strange, greasy herbs.
make grease sound like it's a bad thing, but I get what you're saying.
Not motor oil, not engine grease, but like soot. An absolutely dishonest type of dirt.
Ugh.
As opposed to good honest dirt. Yes, I take your meaning.
Yes. I don't know, but thank goodness for caviar. You're my little boy, aren't you? You're such a handsome man. You're so handsome.
They seem
Yes,
to
you
approve
are.
of him, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
No doubt he's playing the long con.
Aren't we
Probably
all?
just reserving interest until he finds out what the deeper objective is.
Mm.
Anyway, you'll be glad to know that I didn't reject an offer for a second date.
Yay!
good. That's something.
I hate you both.
Maybe next time he'll try to give you a drink.
Which I will summarily smack out of his hand if he jams it towards my face again.
What if it has a curly straw? Or a little umbrella?
I'm an adult. I can feed myself.
But can you drink yourself? Open the door for that one, all right?
Question of the week. Can you drink yourself? Please put that in chat. You guys cheer me up so much. Okay, so you find yourself back at Mucky Point. Jesus. So where do you go? Again, the locations, I don't remember where you've been. The locations are, of course, the lighthouse itself, the lighthouse keeper's shack, Golden Bull Roadhouse, Deshane's Gas and Sundries, the Mucky Point Lighthouse Museum, which you have been in, Codswallop's Bait and Tackle Shop.
Ooh, for me, I think the Roadhouse.
Okay.
Now, admittedly, the locals don't seem terribly friendly, but
They're furtive. That's going to be
yeah,
the big word that I'm going to be using for today, because I mean, like, you've already kind of described them as being strange looking to begin with, but I mean, like, when you're back in town again, like, they seem very furtive, you know? Like, they'll look at you but then not look at you.
Well, if anybody can charm them, it's Pearl.
Certainly ain't me.
I mean, that is what I do.
I think that I'd like to check out the Lightkeeper's shack.
Okay.
That's what I was leaning towards, either that or the lighthouse itself.
So let's see.
So I'll go I'll go. Do we want to split up? Do we feel
That
like
is up
it's
to
safe
you. I
split
mean,
up?
like, whatever you want to do for your remaining
It's so
scenes.
dangerous, but on the other hand, it's dangerous.
Exactly.
I mean, much as I do enjoy working with both of you, we do cover more ground separately.
Let's do a quick split and then come back together.
Yes. Let's set a time to come back together, so if somebody gets overly embroiled, the other two will know to go looking.
Indeed. Dinner?
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Dinner at
And
the roadhouse? Would the roadhouse have food stuffs?
You can well,
Fried fish?
Yeah, definitely fried.
French
Fried
fries?
fish.
If it doesn't have French fries, it's no kind of restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, so Pearl, you said Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Asai, Lighthouse Keeper's Shack. Mazi, you're going where now?
I'm going to the actual lighthouse.
Okay.
Me and my massive amount of stealth I
Team
have.
go.
Coming
So stealthy.
in hot.
Oh my god. All right. Well, the scooter is not like a scooter ain't even gonna help you up there. So,
Oh, I'm in my car. Scooter. I don't have a walker, okay? Yet.
Scooty Puff Jr.
okay.
If you ever need a walker, it is going to be motorized in about 2 minutes flat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure. Oh, absolutely. It's basically borrowing parts from a Segway.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Roadhouse first. Sorry. Roadhouse. Dimly lit. And still the lingering smell of beer and cheap fried food, because that is ingrained in the grain of the wood of this place. There's a fan that still spins lazily overhead. I'm sorry, did we establish like what time of year it is right now? Is it spring? Is it summer? What are we talking about?
I don't
We haven't established that.
think we've established. It's not the dead of winter, but other than that, I'm not sure that we've established at all.
Rachel,
Okay.
roll for it.
I'm sorry?
Telling Rachel to roll.
She rolled for the time of day.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Second roll.
It is autumn.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the fan is still spinning lazily overhead, just because it's like, heat is not going to leave like, completely quickly from here. So it still needs some kind of airflow, as lame as it is. So paint the scene for the Roadhouse. The Golden Bull was originally a lodge for a group of spiritualists in the 1920s. What did they leave behind?
Just for the record, there's nothing I love more than 1920 spiritualist cults. They're the best.
Have some funky dresses, like
They've
robes
they've
and shit, and symbols and symbolism. So sure.
they've left some pseudo-Egyptian like murals, like friezes around the top of the wall of hieroglyphics, and some of the doors are painted with uh those tall lotus motifs. Bit incongruous in a small town New England roadhouse.
You're welcome to put it in. You know what? No, I mean, like if you want to put it in Brindlewood Bay, fantastic. Or if you want to make a new tab and call it Mucky Point, you totally can do that too. And then, put your answers in here, just in case you want to reference back. Yeah. What else is in the Roadhouse that they've left behind?
I would say that as you go in, sort of in the lobby, even though that's way too generous a word for what it is, it's just like the entry, the vestibule. There's an actual statuette of a bull. It's not gold, but the nose of it has been rubbed so many times that it is super slick and shiny, because everybody rubs the bull's nose for good luck.
Yeah.
Want to go creepy or not? Or let's say how creepy, I guess is the question.
However creepy you feel.
All right, I'm gonna go pretty creepy. So it's an older building and it's got the kind of like the hieroglyphs kind of up around the edges of the walls. If you look very close up in the rafters, there are remnants of these small, almost like the corn husk doll that we found. But it's not right. It's much like the people here, just something about it seems off. If you get a chance to look at it, like maybe it has gills, maybe the arms are a little bit tentacly looking, and there's a couple of them just kind of tucked into the shadows of the rafters. Probably covered in cobwebs too.
Interesting talismans.
Just protect the place. They're guardians.
Sure. And that's what you see here, Pearl, when you enter in and again kind of blink against the light. The windows don't seem to give very much or don't seem to allow much light to come in. The windows excuse me, look narrow, and there's actually some semblance of blinds that are kind of covering most of the bared windows anyway. And there's somebody that seems to be over by the bar of this place, kind of like setting things up, wiping things down. But again, your eyes are probably still getting used to the dim of the place.
Right. It is awfully early in the day for this
Mm-hmm.
place to be.
Yeah, you guys probably got here like around lunchtime or so, or like
Yeah.
afterwards. So.
But I will tootle on over. Excuse me. Are you open? Is it all right if I come in, or should I come back later?
Yeah. There's a woman there that seems to be wearing a messy apron, and she turns around and she's got the ruddiest cheeks you've ever seen, like as if she was outdoors for too long and they got like, sun-beaten and weathered. And her hair, you can see like now that you're closer to her that like her hair is like a red, like a deep red, and it's just kind of like piled in on top of her head, or like maybe a messy bun. It's kind of like fuzzy hair that you can't quite tell like how it's put together. um and she just kind of turns to you and say, oh no, hun, it's fine. I'm just cleaning up and just getting ready for patrons to come on in. I'm actually surprised some of the early ones haven't stepped in yet. Maybe they're taking little sleeps where they are, and they'll be back in the afternoon. What can I help you with?
Well, I was wondering if I could get a glass of Coke and you don't happen to do fried mushrooms by any chance, do you?
Oh,
They being a reasonably common bar food, I figure it's worth asking.
yeah. I mean, like, that's. We do some fine morels, like, fried up in our special batter.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Better than I could have dared hope. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. You want some good fried food? You come here. I'm Sandy, by the way.
Oh, Pearl.
Nice to meet you, Pearl. If you give me a few minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of those fresh battered mushrooms into the hopper.
Thank you.
And she kind of like wanders down the counter and like into the back, and then you can hear like after maybe um, like some tossing and some seasoning or whatever, um, a basket being dunked into the oil after it's been warmed up and stuff. And she kind of comes back out and just kind of like keeps the door open so she can listen in for the timer, I guess. And yeah, those will be done in just a few minutes. You're
Terrific.
new? I mean, not a
Just
regular?
just visiting town and thought I'd come in. I'd been told that this was the place to come for good, hearty fried foods, so I was in the mood for a snack and thought I'd check it out.
Yeah. Used to think about marketing us a lot better. I mean, we do have the best fried food. I don't care what them Brindlewood Bay folks say up the road. feel like I've lost some custom just because can't seem to compete.
That is difficult. As far as I'm concerned, if you want the best things, you have to go off the beaten track. You have to go to the smaller places and not the ones that everybody's heard of.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
the same time, you have to advertise to get business, so I know it's kind of a bind.
Yeah, the only thing that we seem to be noticeable for is the lighthouse, and that's because it's the biggest ass thing sticking out of here. Ah, the the uh the bell. Let me go grab those fresh fries for you, and then you can hear her like kind of like shuffling around and like draining it and also drying it a little bit, and then she brings out this platter that has the fresh mushrooms like curled in their fried state. The batter just looks like glistening and so crunchy.
Mm.
And then like she's actually thrown in like some what look like fresh cut fries to go
Mm.
along with it, but they look seasoned, like as if they've been like slightly battered as well. There you
Oh,
go, hun.
marvelous. Thank
Fresh.
you. And I will be sure and take my first bite carefully because mushrooms do absorb oil and are very hot. Uh,
Be
while she's
careful with
right
that.
there.
Hmm.
I,
She's kind of like
oh,
looking at you expectantly.
yes, yes. Oh, these are wonderful.
Take great pride. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm very thankful they are actually good because I would have told her they were no matter what. Uh, this is how you butter people up. Uh, but so most of the people who come to town come for the lighthouse, you say?
Ah, yeah. Hmm.
It is conspicuous, I'll give it that.
Yeah. County tried to tear it down last year, actually.
Really?
Tried to make room for some new development, but the old lighthouse keeper, with along with the historian. Um, if you go down to the museum, you might meet her. Uh, they managed to stop the county. They lobbied hard to have it designated as a historical landmark. And let me tell you, they made a lot of enemies during that fight.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that's a shame. I mean, yes, I understand that sometimes you need new development, but not at the cost of what makes your town unique. Not at the cost of history and all that. That just seems short-sighted to.
But not it's not fair. It's not fair that's the only thing that we're known for. It is
Hmm.
less and less important to actual maritime navigation.
Well, there's that.
We should be known for providing such great food, and such scenic locales. And we're not. Hmm.
That is too bad. You know, I I have to admit I'm a travel writer. Ah, I didn't come to this town coincidentally. I'm trying to get to know it in the hopes of writing a feature piece. And I admit the lighthouse was the first thing I knew of, but looking around, I'm thinking that people do need to know that there's a lot more here. That the town's not a one-trick pony. That metaphor got away from me. Anyway, uh, but at the same time, maybe there should be a way to preserve history without making it seem like that's all there is.
Well, there's been talk of the reason why it never got its acclaim like it was supposed to is because of Brindlewood Bay's tourism board. Of course, they got the money to sink into making their town the biggest resort thing there is. To hell with anything that could even possibly compete.
Yeah, that is a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah. So.
So what was this development that they were going to somebody was hoping to replace the lighthouse with?
Couldn't say. Couldn't say for sure, but again, there was a there was talk of the lighthouse being less and less useful as so what? You know, just a moth-eaten, lighthouse keeper and nothing else to show for it. So they could just as easily raze the thing down to the ground and built something else to provide some kind of use, I suppose. But,
I mean, the views from there have to be magnificent. You could put quite a nice resort there or something like that to take advantage of the seaside views and bring people into the town.
yeah. But again,
Brindlewood Bay getting in the way, huh?
that's part of it. But also, too, I mean, it's hard, I think, to become like a historical landmark. And you have to have the funds to be able to keep it up, maintain, and all that sort of thing. And, it's one thing to fight hard to keep a thing alive. It is quite another to keep it going.
Yes. That is very true.
Sorry, I'm
How
I'm a bit I'm a bit salty, I suppose.
understandable.
Only
So,
because the old lighthouse keeper was a bit of a hateful old bastard.
oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Did he make trouble for you here, or was it just that he was generally unpleasant to be around, or?
Oh, he hated everyone and everything except for that damn lighthouse.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that he's gone. Maybe we can move further on sprucing up the place, I suppose. But
It's a sad, hard truth that sometimes change doesn't happen until some people are no longer blocking it, so.
there's still an assistant lighthouse keeper, of course. But we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if anything comes of it, or if the county gets its way and they get to raise it all down. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'll be watching with interest, certainly.
Can I get you a beer or anything like that to wash all that good stuff down with?
At this time of day, I think I'm going to have a Coke. I'll have a beer later this evening.
No problem. What did you say that you wrote for? Which publication did you say you
Oh,
wrote
I'm a
for?
freelance writer, so I write my pieces and then I try to shop them to various markets. So,
Ah, well, shop away, please. Let more people know
absolutely.
about Mucky Point. We are, I believe, better. A better value. A better place to come when you want to see something really good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's go over
Trying to
to. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, go ahead. I was gonna see about rolling a middling move
Mm-hmm.
to see if I could get a little more about the enemies that the a little more specifics on the enemies that the lighthouse keeper and historian made.
Sure. Go ahead and
Um,
roll it, and then we can resolve it after I go through everybody.
Absolutely. Would this be presence?
Yes. If you're going to talk to her about it, or if you
Yeah.
know.
Holy cow, that's a 13.
Oh, well. Well then. You know what? I'm not going to wait to resolve it. Let's see. You get a clue, you get a clue, and then you get a clue, or you get a void clue, whatever. Yeah, he made a lot of enemies, that Cyrus. If anything, I don't know why he wasn't hauled in and completely removed from his duty, to be honest. Again, he was a hateful old bastard. But somehow he kept on getting off. He was repeatedly detained by Alvin, our constable, Constable Deshane, and for always drunk, disorderly conduct. I mean, how many times can you get away with doing that and not get hauled in more permanent like? I don't understand.
Yes, I mean, there's such a thing as giving somebody grace if it's not something they do regularly. Anybody can have a bad day, but if they make trouble for others frequently, then somebody really ought to do something. Not just say shame, shame, and let them go do it again.
And you know what's really rankling about that? He'd blame us, being the tavern keepers and all, here at the roadhouse. He'd blame us for serving him when he was probably over the limit, getting blind-eyed drunk and, spouting off whatever the hell he wanted to say. But, no. Constable Deshane knows that we know when to cut people off. Whatever Cyrus was doing, he was getting his booze elsewhere. Probably at the sundries, liquor, extra liquor. Liquor goes quicker, or whatever the hell they say. So, and I think as she's saying this, maybe your eyes are wandering out to, look through the windows and such. And then you see the view of the lighthouse from the roadhouse. But I think, as you're refocusing and then, bringing your eyes away from the lighthouse, I think you'll see closer and almost right outside in the road of Mucky Point. In the road, you'll see a pile of dead seagulls. And there's one living seagull on top of it, preening. That is your next void clue.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that and not comment on it. Wiki.
Yep. Let's head over to the lighthouse. Give me a second. I'm trying to break this in. Lighthouse shack. Give me a second. All right. Lighthouse keeper's shack. Sorry. I think you'll see, it's like a little house that's next to the lighthouse itself. Anyway, yeah, next to the lighthouse is the lighthouse keeper's shack. And it looks like a comfortable little box of a house on the outside. And then maybe from a window or two, you can get a view of what looks like a studio apartment kind of place, maybe. Like you see some beds, and then you see like a sea chest, a wardrobe, small dining room table or something like that in here. So
Are we going to the lighthouse keeper's shack or the lighthouse?
I thought you were going to the lighthouse keeper's shack.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you see on, like, like next to the lighthouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought we were going to Mazi.
Oh, no,
I'm
Sai.
still waiting for Sai to play. Where is she? What is she doing? Why isn't she rolling stuff? All right.
No, we're going to the lighthouse keeper's shack.
I lost. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that and not comment on it. Dying. Dead.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Sai approaches the shack. She doesn't know if there's anybody in there or not. So, what she's going to do is kind of from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
scope it out a little bit, see if there's any clues that she can see from the outside of the house. Is there a car in the driveway? Is there any hints that someone might be there currently? Are lights on? Is there music going? That kind of
Mm-mm.
thing.
I
Okay.
mean, like it's well into the afternoon. You don't see anybody or um see anything, you know, anyone
Is
moving
the door
around in there or
locked?
whatever. Um, well, has a locked door ever deterred you from anything?
Absolutely not, but it's a good place to start. There's no reason to break in if the door is unlocked.
Right. But then again, this is Mucky Point, so they probably wouldn't really lock their door. I mean, the most cursory of locks. I mean, like you'd look at it and go, "Really?" You know?
It's just a chair against the doorknob.
Kinda, it's just like one of those simple, like, you could literally look through the keyhole. It's one of
Yeah,
those jobs, you know what I'm saying? So,
easily undone.
easily undone,
Right.
So, yeah, I mean,
Okay,
like,
if I'm going to attempt entry,
yeah.
um,
I won't even make you roll because it's just ridiculous for you.
okay.
So you can go on
Appreciate
in.
it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. All right. Okay. Inside the cabin.
Inside the cabin, you see a pair of small but cozy looking beds. Like against each one is a large sea chest, and then in the corner is a tall wardrobe, and then on like an opposite corner, a small plain dining room table. Again, like just kind of like a very basic studio apartment type of thing, but it's a little house. So paint the scene. This is interesting. In 1932, one of the lighthouse keepers savagely murdered the other. What do you see here, even today, that is a reminder of this grim history?
Definitely hatchet marks in the floorboards. I'm going to say one lighthouse keeper axed the other one in a fit of paranoia and rage, Lizzie Borden style. And you can still see in the otherwise unblemished, very strong oak floorboards that there is one spot between the two beds where you can see hatchet marks. And they're in a centralized location.
What else? What else do you see?
Real good wood cutting.
Hmm?
I said some real good wood cutting that was done.
Mm.
Um, I'm gonna say that this kind of leads into how the door didn't have like a really good lock. Um, from the inside, you can actually tell that the door was like bashed in. So whatever fight that took place maybe before the axing happened, it was maybe began outside or whatever, but somebody basically like kicked in the door, and you can see kind of like the door frame still a little mangled in spots. They didn't really do a great job patching it and fixing it. And the door that they replaced with was just kind of like, your hardware 101. Here's a door,
Yeah.
stick a lock in it,
Yeah.
hope for the best.
I think the other noteworthy sign of past troubles is less obvious unless you look closely. Um, there are multiple places where hidey holes, like you might put valuables or a weapon in, were cut into the walls, and just like a section of wood lifts out. And while they've been patched up with filler more recently because drafty, um, you can still see those, and it's evidence of uh fear and mistrust of each other, or of who might come in, people stashing things where they thought no one would look.
And of course, you have your boon companion, Caviar, here, Sai. So, upon seeing all this, what do you do?
Um, I wouldn't have been aware of the historical murder.
Yeah.
Definitely going to um put my feelers out, see if there's any little secret hidden places.
Sure.
Um, any check under the mattresses,
Mm-hmm.
see if the floorboards are squeaky in places that they might reveal under things, or glance behind portraits that are on the wall. Is there
Mm,
any little secret hidden thing that I might be able to suss out?
sure. Go ahead and, roll meddling. And if you intend on using Caviar, of course, in your move. So I think that's with
For
advantage. That
sure.
gives you advantage.
Is
Uh,
is
this
that
would be
2d6?
reason.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're using Caviar, like, within the move itself, then you would, of course, use advantage. Like, take Caviar as your advantage. 3d6, take the two highest, plus reason, because you know, you've got a, well, parlay me, like, what do you got? What do you got as your better stat?
Uh, I don't. My reason is 0. My vitality, composure, and presence are 1. I got nothing. I'm a really bad jewel thief, it turns out.
Well, I mean, you could use composure for stealthy, like to try to keep it.
No, no, no. Reason is reasonable.
Okay,
Reason is reasonable. Let's go with that.
sure.
3d6 plus 1 for caviar, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, 3D, like, if Caviar gives you the advantage, then that just means,
That's the
like, you roll
d6. Okay.
3d6, take the two highest.
Take the 2
Yes.
highest. Okay. That would be an 11.
Okay.
Rolled an 11. Oh yeah.
Okay. So between the two of you, let's see, what do you find? I think Caviar will go where you can't necessarily. So, I mean, like, there's the wardrobe, it's pretty simple or what have you, but I think he's able to sniff out some things, and maybe he'll pat the wall where he sniffs something interesting to him, of course.
It's just
And
sardines.
like, he actually goes on his hind legs and will stretch. Like, you never realize necessarily how long Caviar is until he does that particular thing, and he's actually reaching up with one of his paws and tapping it, and then, like, making like he's sniffing something. His whiskers even look like they're kind of like radiating towards the wall. That's how
I love when
curious he is.
I love when cats do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
All
and
right,
if
I'm
you,
gonna go over and check it out.
yeah,
Caviar, what did you find, sweet boy? What is this?
wow. And then he'll indicate with his paw. And then, like, maybe, like, you've worked in tandem together before, so I mean, obviously
Sure.
he sniffs it out, and then you do your bit with your hands to be able to feel out if there's anything hidden or,
Mickey biscuits.
yeah. Making biscuits, exactly. Well, your biscuit making finds definitely something, and like you hear a click, and then you see like there's a panel that seems to kind of pop out of the wall a little bit. When you pull it out, kind of there's an opening for like reaching in as if somebody was like trying to hide something or whatever. And I think what you find in there is, give me a second.
Last time we found something in a wall, it was not good.
Well, this one's a little bit more benign. So
Okay.
it's a
Just gave
sheaf.
Pearl the trauma.
Sorry. Sorry, Pearl. Um, it's a sheaf of papers rolled up or folded up, however it can fit into this little recess that you find. And when you pull them out, they look like cell phone records. It's showing a suspiciously high number of calls between Cyrus and, at this point, an unknown number to you.
Suspicious.
But I mean, it's the same number continually. Sure. Yeah. So, cell phone records. Okay. And yeah, like you find it fine. Do you give, I forget, do you give Caviar treats when he finds something especially useful?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I'm not a monster. He's a good boy. He gets a treat.
Yeah. And I think as you're doing this, I think, Mazi, you've made your way into the lighthouse itself. Let me see.
Oh yeah. I'd be checking it out and just taking my time walking around.
I think, though, when you had stepped into the lighthouse, you get the sensation of your stomach dropping. Like when you go downhill on a roller coaster, or when you feel like there's a tension, a held tension in the air when you put your foot expecting to meet a stair or the floor and it's not quite there. As soon as you stepped in through the entrance, you felt that bottoming out. There's no echoes here. Despite being a very hollow stone cylinder, you can see almost all the way up to the top. No matter how loud you speak, it's a whisper. Paint the scene. What evidence here suggests that the lighthouse keepers through the years have had strange beliefs? Sorry, I meant to keep doing this and I only just remembered. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What evidence here suggests the lighthouse keepers through the years have had strange beliefs?
Y'all want some creepy again? I got a creepy idea.
This is a creepy place, okay?
All
I mean,
right.
like, this is just what it is.
So, there aren't echoes, right? When you talk, you don't hear echoes.
Nope.
But you do hear whispers of other languages that sound like prayers. But if you guys have ever seen like a horror movie and like there's good prayers and there's bad prayers, it's the bad prayers. So they just, if you can pick out words, they're definitely like like sacrificing and it's all the things that you do not want to hear in a prayer. But it comes back as like you go hello and you expect hello hello, instead it's like he comes in the night, he is coming in the night, it is dark and he will be sacrificed and there will be blood, and you're like
you don't even understand that much, but you
right?
get the vibe.
Yeah,
The
yeah, you
vibe
get the
is
vibe of that. And you're like I'm sorry, what?
what other evidence is here?
The inner walls are carved with tiny, intricate patterns that fill the whole space, but not in a repeating geometrical way. They're small, twisted figures. And if you look closely, maybe they're dancing, maybe they're writhing in pain, but they're definitely contorted. And they cover so much of the interior, it's clear that this was not the work of one person or one brief time. This is an ongoing thing, and yet it's in the same style.
I think playing off of that, for each contorted figure, there is a human tooth embedded in where the heart would be of the figure, varying in size and apparent age. Some are sharp, like the canines. Some are the molars, and you can feel the texture of the top of the molar.
Oh, that makes it so much worse. I love it.
And with that, Mazi turns around and walks. No, I'm just kidding. She's like, nope.
I mean, no,
Mazi
seriously.
says, I think maybe I'll retire to Florida instead. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no, seriously, do you nope out of there, or like, right now without your friends, or do you stick around and try to see something or find something?
I will stay at the door, like the threshold to the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually even gonna turn around and like wedge something like in the door to make sure it won't like close on me or something, because like it's kind of bizarre. And I'm not gonna go very far in. Like, I'm within a couple steps of booking it back out, but I still want to like look up, looking around, see if there's any people, anything going on, any literature to pick up, brochures,
A helpful pamphlet.
join our cult.
So you decided to join our tooth cult.
Yeah.
What to expect at your first sacrifice?
Yeah.
Gosh. I think, like, so do you, well, let me ask you something. Do you call out, or do you just kind of look up at the staircase, spiraling upward and such?
I don't think I'd call out, but I'd probably do one of those like whistles, like, wow, like look it up.
And then you hear from above, hello? Someone there?
Does it sound like they're like
They're human. I
okay?
mean,
Does it,
But
does it sound like they have all their teeth?
yes. I mean, like, as
Hello?
most of them
Hello?
at least. I'd be like, yeah, hello. I was looking for the lighthouse, and on the outside it looks like the lighthouse, but I'm still kind of looking at the teeth in the wall and like the weird scribblings and hearing the little whispers, and I'm like, this is a very interesting choice of decor for a lighthouse.
You start to hear steps coming down the staircase, the
I like the
spiraling
door
staircase.
creaking at the same time, by the way. It's like perfect timing.
Right. And yeah, so you start seeing, like, a figure in a well-pressed uniform coming down the stairs, and then, like, he'll kind of lean over as he's, like, nearing maybe the, just a few feet above, and then just kind of like you look into a handsome face, a thoughtful face, and he smiles and says, "Yes, this is an interesting lighthouse for sure. I'm Stephen Blair. I'm well, I guess the actual lighthouse keeper until they decide to bring somebody else in or promote me from assistant."
I see. Yes, I heard about the unfortunate circumstances. Do you mind stepping out? It's a little stuffy in here.
Oh, certainly. Sorry, just wanting to just keep things maintained up there since Cyrus passed. Sure.
So I'll kind of scuttle outside, and as I'm walking, I'm gonna knock away whatever I like rock or whatever I'd put like in the doorway, just kind of knock it out of the way. Um, be like, yes, I heard about Cyrus, and I was coming up just to kind of take a look because it seemed, for somebody who's been doing this for a while, you would assume they're pretty sure-footed and you know what they're doing and everything, but seems like either something went awry that night, or you know who what, just trying to find out any more details. Curious.
Seems rather macabre, don't you think?
I like a good story, and I
Oh, I can tell you stories. I
oh
mean, there's been some strange stuff happening around here, around Mucky Point.
involving Cyrus specifically, or just in
No,
general.
no, just in general. It's been really strange.
Are you from here?
Mm, no, no, not actually. I guess I suppose it's kind of strange for someone of my generation to want to be a lighthouse keeper, but I've always been fascinated by this lighthouse. I mean, so you guys are outside and he's just kind of like as he's saying this, he's like looking up at it, like in like kind of getting this like distant look in his eye and just gesturing to it. It's like this lighthouse in particular, right? I mean, it's just so interesting to me. And then he turns back to you, and there was no way in heck that I was going to keep working at my parents' bakery in Brindlewood. Mm-mm. That's boring. But
That's fair.
this, this is bright. This is lofty. This has some kind of tradition, right? But yeah, I mean, like, it's been weird. There's been at night. There's been talk of some kind of baleful song going out to sea. Nobody can hear, I mean, nobody can see who it is, but we hear it. We hear it across the bay. And some say that this weird song is a prayer to King Poseidon, right? God of the sea.
Hmm. And how long has that been going on?
Oh, I mean, for as long as I can think. I mean, people have been kind of talking about it as something that's been happening, but I mean, I think they've said that where it used to only happen like maybe every what is it, full moon or something like that. Um, it's now happening pretty frequently. Maybe every other night, maybe.
Oh, and have you heard it?
I wish I had. I mean, it sounds interesting. It sounds fascinating, but I think I, just for fun. I mean, like sometimes I try to stay up late, and try to see if I can, um, you know, hear it for myself. But I guess I'm an old soul. I tend to fall asleep before it happens. Before it's said to happen, anyway.
Mm. What time does it usually supposedly happen?
Well, there's been talk about it happen. Like there's been talk about it happening sometime between I think midnight and 2 a.m.
Oof,
It's been really weird.
that's my bedtime.
Yeah, yeah. You'd think I'd have more more energy, like late at night, stay up. But yeah, just get
Ah,
bored by TV and I just I get up early to,
Well, and there's a lot of stairs you're going up and down,
yeah,
taking care
yeah,
of this place. So,
yeah. So I guess I'm an early riser, you know, early to bed, early to rise, all that stuff.
what else? I feel like as a lighthouse, okay, this is kind of out of character.
Mhm.
This particular lighthouse we know is it's been around forever or whatever. Um, is it still considered a functional lighthouse or is it more of like a historic landmark lighthouse?
Give me a second. I'm just gonna take a look at
Because
this.
I feel like he should be up all night versus during the day with a lighthouse. Night seems more important.
Now, mind you, he's telling you what happens to him.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean it is what is actually happening.
Is he lying to me? I will push him down those stairs.
He may not realize that he's lying to you. Let's
No,
put
I
it
know.
that way.
He's
But
sleepwalking.
maybe, yeah. But
Mm.
in recent decades, as the lighthouse has become less and less important to maritime navigation, um, yeah, it's Mucky Point itself is just the tiny hamlet that has existed to support the operation of the lighthouse for most of its history. But again, it's just been less and less important for navigation.
Okay.
So
So
it
we would
has a
know that in
reputation of being a shriveled little place, isolated and unfriendly to outsiders. Yeah.
but we would know that in theory it should be running at night
Oh
still.
yeah.
It's considered still
If
functional.
yeah, I mean like up to a certain point.
Yeah.
But I mean like obviously if the county, Brindlewood County was considering on tearing it down for new development, whatever the hell that means, for development, then, obviously it's like it's not as crucial at this juncture,
Right.
you know.
Right. Um sorry, I think there's a toddler. Um okay, so back in character. I'll kind of look at him and be like, seems odd to me that you would go to sleep so early since I feel like wouldn't the lighthouse be more, I guess, important to be running at night?
Well, I mean, up until recently, it was I'd be I'd be Cyrus's backup. He was the old lighthouse keeper, and he wanted to handle everything at night when it was most important, of course, himself. And then this happened, so now I mean, this will be one of the first nights that I'm really going to be staying up. I was again getting things set up so I didn't have to worry about it later on, and I was actually going to head down and get some sleep.
So when you're sleeping though, there's nobody here watching the place or running it, or I guess it's not as important during the day though, with sun being up and all that.
Well, I was hoping that they would have sent somebody ever since Cyrus had his accident, but I haven't heard yet. So I mean, I'm just trying to do what I can, and then I will, I guess, take care of things until they decide what they're going to do. This place
Um,
needs to be maintained.
yeah, but I know you said you're probably just getting ready to like settle down and grab some sleep before evening.
Mhm.
Would it be all right if I took a look around and I've actually never been in a lighthouse, so I wouldn't mind seeing the workings. I don't know. I won't touch
Excuse,
Scout's honor.
no, excuse me for saying so, ma'am, but I mean, are you sure you're going to be able to make it up the stairs? It's a
I'll
long
have
way.
to pause, take a few deep breaths, but I can probably hoof it up.
Okay. I mean, if you're sure. I mean,
How old is this guy?
he's young. I mean, he's a youngin. I mean, like, he's like probably like, late teen, like not late teens, like like at least like in these early
Like
20s.
25-ish, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Sonny, listen here. Have a mind to throw you off the lighthouse myself. No. I will yeet you into the next land.
I'm just gonna ask if you want to do anything before we close out for the for the scene.
No, I mean the only thing I'm gonna ask him,
Mhm.
is I'll make some small talk about the lighthouse and what it's like been here, just like general stuff.
Mhm.
But the only real question that I want to ask is about Cyrus and if he had any strange like connections that it seemed to the insides of the lighthouse. Like, did he seem to partake in any of like whatever these rituals are,
Okay.
or like did he like incense or
Meddling move, please, and
so good at these.
do it with Well, I'll let you parlay me. Like, what do you think is the best stat to use?
It's a great question.
Because then I'd like, then I would like to hear how you're trying to bring it up to him using that stat.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna use dexterity and strength. I'm gonna hold him over the edge. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Just remember that like, you can interpret these things in different ways.
I was aiming towards composure because I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it more of like the calm disposition
Yes.
aspect. So be talking about, maybe some of the decor and how I haven't seen, obviously I've kind of written out, given him the idea that I have some interesting taste, be like, well, I haven't seen anything or
Mhm.
heard anything relating to like these types of rituals. Do you know if
Folk art. Folk art.
yeah, folk art, my crafts and things. Do you know if Cyrus kind of had any rituals or any, I guess, spiritual relations to what's in here, depicted in here?
Oh, yeah. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pull out something.
All right, I got a 7 total.
Okay.
I got a 4 and a 1 plus 2.
Okay. 7. Now, did you convince him to go back and show you inside the lighthouse, or like
Yeah,
you're?
I would have been
Mm.
following up. Maybe one of those little landings we pause and catching my breath and
Oh yeah,
asking
yeah.
about stuff like this.
Sure. I don't know anything about rituals, ma'am. Um, but what I do remember is that one of the times that Cyrus was busy turning the lighthouse light, I think he was telling me to clean out. Well, I won't tell you where he had been cleaning out, but I'm usually the one doing the dirty work, of course. I found something that did not look like anything I've really seen before. And I wasn't sure what it was about. So, one of the other places I had to clean was out by where sometimes the birds settle, over by the walk. And I definitely have to be the one to clean it to make sure that Cyrus isn't going to slip, or I slip, what have you. And I actually found something that did not look like it belonged there. It was fish oil, of all things. It was spread on the walk outside of outside of the lighthouse windows. I don't know how it got there. I mean, maybe something silly like maybe one of the gulls or something had brought up like some food, but I can't imagine like coming up all the way to the lighthouse and, eating its prey all the way up there. That
Kind of
seems
does
kind of
seem
silly.
odd.
Yeah. So,
Well,
I
especially
mean,
if
it
there
smelled like
wasn't.
fish anyway. I mean,
Yeah, but especially if there wasn't any other debris from the meal.
right. There was no bones. There wasn't anything, but it was really sticky. I don't, but it smelled like fish. So,
Hmm.
I scraped it off, and I kind of kept it. I don't know why, but I did. Do you want to see?
Do you just carry it on you, or is it?
No, no, it's in my chest.
Oh,
It's in my chest in the shack. And somebody's conveniently in the shack still. Dum
scuttle,
dum
scuttle, scuttle.
dum. So
Sure. I
Sai is
mean,
still in the Sai is still in the shack.
all
And
right. So
Steven will
yeah.
show you what the stuff looks like.
Okay. After we see kind of around the lighthouse in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Steven to show Mazi the vial. Yep. All right. So we're gonna close out there for our session. And I'm not gonna worry about the end of session at the moment. If you did do any of the elective end of session questions, then please mark it off, because then we'll also address it, to the end of the cycle as well. So did not solve a mystery, but yeah, I mean, like, if you did the any of the end of session questions, just go ahead and mark that off for right now. Alrighty. I don't want to keep you too long, so stars and wishes. Stars for this session, and then wishes for the future.
Stars for everybody for making it. Of course, always having like the best little moments of just sprinkling in the strange and using your kitty cat to good use and always bringing the tasty foods, Pearl. um Wishes, I want to see what the weird goo is. Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see Steven's goo.
That sounds awful.
I'm not doing a commercial for that.
No.
Steven's goo.
You've tried other goos. Now try Steven's goo.
Sticky and smells like fish.
Oh my god.
Mysterious origins? You betcha.
Oh lordy.
We need more commercials.
Oh my
That's all
god.
there is to it.
We do need more commercials.
I'm gonna have to get you guys in more danger, though. I mean, I wanted to see the commercial for, yeah.
Yeah, bean licking.
Yes. So.
Bean liquors. Oh man, this was a great session all around. I the date was hilarious, and just Mazi and Pearl sitting there kibitzing and basically playing Statler and Waldorf to your date.
Despite the fact that they're the ones who set me up on it, essentially.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
we're
Well, he
critiquing your
texted you.
performance.
I'm just gonna pull out the old chestnut line of, like, you got to make your own fun around here.
Oh, we're very good at that.
Yes.
Mhm.
But also the detail of the teeth in the wall. Oh God, Luna, that was just so
Amazing.
yes, perfect.
Ugh.
Yeah, and the whispers were deeply creepy as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like we hit a very good balance in this session of the fun and lighthearted and the yeah, there's stuff going on that is not light and silly and not even as much fun as a typical murder. Um, so yeah, this was a lot of fun all around. And as far as wishes, I do want to see how things are going with Adamus. Because we haven't seen him since Pearl told him that she'd been lying about some stuff. And so don't know how things are going there. She may not know how things are going. I think she's waiting to find out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Sure. Alrighty.
Stars to the chat for being absolutely ridiculously hilarious.
Yes.
The chat is so good tonight.
I don't even know if I have any wishes, just more of the same. Man, this is exactly the kind of like creepy good time that I was like when I said like let's get into some dangerous stuff. Like I'm feeling the vibes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So just more.
No, can totally appreciate that. I mean, guys haven't really done like any night moves because like you haven't really necessarily been stalking around at night. I mean, you can change that here in Mucky Point. I don't know if you want to though, for reals. Well, anyway, Mazi will, but
I do. I
Okay.
definitely want to.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Pearl, the character is not keen on the idea.
Yeah.
Kathleen, the player, thinks it would be great.
Exactly. Mazi might fall asleep waiting.
Yeah. Once
That's
Pearl
usually the
finds out
problem.
about the weird singing at night, she's gonna be like, "And that's our cue to leave."
Hmm.
That's your cue, not the teeth in the wall, not the weird whispers, not.
Well, that's
They
the
weren't the ones that
temporal
saw it
cue.
yet.
That's the temporal cue. The other things are there all the time. I want to leave before the weird singing starts.
Oh, that's what you stay for.
Yeah, player thinks that's what you stay.
Come for the teeth, stay for the singing.
Mm.
It's folk art.
That's their new slogan. Come for the teeth, stay for the singing.
Oh my
Mucky
God.
Point.
Mucky Point. Oh my God, what a great voiceover. What was I gonna say? So yeah, stars to all the scenes today. That was really awesome. The date was hilarious, and the commercial, chef's kiss. Mwah. So good, so good. I mean, I could not help myself, but I mean, you know, um, yeah, I just enjoyed everybody's work today, and again, you made me laugh, which is great, but creeped out sufficiently as well. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, like, out of character, obviously, if you like creepy ass podcasts and you like hearing good sound design, I would totally listen to The White Vault. It's like,
Ooh, yes.
what happened in the Arctic, or yeah, like near um some isolated
Svalbard or whatever.
Yeah.
Svalbard.
Svalbard, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so good.
That's a real
And
place, by the way.
yeah, and it does involve a little bit of teeth, so
Yes.
check
A
it out.
little bit, a lot of bit of teeth.
Hey,
There's a lot of bit of teeth.
hey,
Sorry about the teeth horror, guys.
Content warning.
No,
teeth.
it was
I'm good.
perfect.
I'm
No.
good. But like I said, if you want more of that with vibes,
Yeah.
go listen to White Vault.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just like so much that I'm very, very happy with today's episode, and like
Wait till you have
that's
time to go through the chat.
oh God, I don't even think I can. I'm just gonna die laughing. And hopefully this time I'll remember to give you the episode, before we have the next episode. And so you have 8 clues already. Mazi, I still need that clue from the cozy move. If you start having any kind of theories or whatever, this is your chance to put the thumb on the scale.
Everybody did it.
Yeah, who done did it? Exactly.
Although the Roadhouse lady is pretty sus.
Guilty.
She's
Like,
like,
she makes such good mushrooms.
I
but
forgive
she's
her.
also like, he was a bad man. He was a bastard. Kind of glad he's dead,
Anybody who makes good snacks is innocent. I'm that lady's lawyer, and she didn't do anything.
There you
That
go.
means Pearl will forever be innocent.
Yeah,
Aw.
100%.
And Mazi will forever be
100%.
guilty.
Aw.
Sorry, Maz.
Here is my grease-covered, glitter-encrusted cookie.
Many,
Oh my
many fine qualities.
Yes,
Cooking?
for
My
sure.
cooking is one of them.
Oh, and then like wishes, I mean, like, yeah, I guess just continuing onward, and then like, I'd like to see, I guess, a theory by next time. That would be great, just to see what you come up with. I would prefer you not to keep pushing it to like over 10 clues,
Fair.
because it gets a little
Fair.
ridiculous. Although it's funny as hell when you guys do try to get everything to try to tie in together, which is amazing. So, if you think you can do it, fabulous. But I'm just kind of like, all right, how much real time can you spend in Mucky Point before the terror will overtake you? Come on now.
Oh
You know
no,
what I'm
we're
saying?
staying overnight, guys. Your ride is not
Oh.
leaving.
Oh no.
An Uber doesn't come here.
I've lived a long life. That's fine.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Your
Road is
Uber
strangely blocked by dead seagulls. I don't know.
So weird.
So
Were those dead seagulls here when we came in? I don't remember that.
Who
If they
knows?
were, I ran them over.
Turn left at the dead seagull.
Oh my god.
Two
The
blocks
dead
down.
seagull, the live seagull points the way. Oh boy.
Yep.
Just one wing out.
What? Nice. Alrighty. So, that's all. Then, happy gaming for you all. Until next time, which should be, the fourth Tuesday. And then we will, continue onward with this weird investigation for sure.
26th.
Yes. Okay.
Already.
Just remind me to throw in the dates, just so we can see, okay, this is what it looks like, second and fourth. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much. I had fun, and I hope you did too. And this
Yes.
was a really fun session. So I appreciate you both. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.